In this video, we will create a macro that allows us to email a report to a specified user. To follow along, you will need to create or use a report that has a command button to run the macro. So let's begin. First, let's start by switching to the design view for our report. And in the design view, we want to make sure that we have selected the button that's going to run our macro. Here, that's Email Report. Next, make sure you have the Property Sheet panel open on the right-hand side of your screen. If it is not, in the ribbon, go to the Report Design Tools tab, Design tab, and click Property Sheet. In the Property Sheet, make sure the Event tab is selected. And we're going to attach this macro to the onClick event for this button. So in the Property Sheet, click in the line for onClick, and we're going to choose the Build button, the ... to the far right-hand side of onClick. That opens up our Choose Builder window. We're going to create our macro with the Macro Builder, so we'll go ahead and click on OK to open up the Macro Builder window. All right, next, let's create our error handler. So from the Add New Action dropdown, you can either type in or select on Error. Notice that Next is automatically populated in the Go To field. So if an error occurs, Next goes to the next action. All right, let's go ahead and create our email. So from the Add New Action dropdown, you can either select or create Email Database Object. And there are a lot of different arguments here. The first thing that we want to do to attach the report is to choose the object type of report. Next, we want to choose the object name. Which report are we going to be emailing? Well, it's the one we're currently looking at, which happens to be the top 10 biggest orders in this example. Output format is where you would select to send the report as an Excel document, HTML, PDF, rich text format, text document, and so on. We'll go ahead and send this document as a PDF. Next, you have the recipients of the email, who it's going to, the CC and the BCC. I'll just go ahead and type in a fake email address there, and we'll skip down to the subject line. For the subject line, I'll type in, for this example, top 10 orders. The next argument is for message text, and you can go ahead and add in some canned or defaulted message text here if you want, or you can wait until the application opens Outlook and then add in additional message text there. Speaking of which, you have the next line, which is Edit Message, and right now it's set to Yes. So what that means is that after I click on the Email Report button, it will open up my default email application, in this case it's Outlook, so that I can edit the message or add in any additional text. If I set it to No, anytime I click on that Email Report button, it'll just automatically send the message for me, and I won't have a chance to edit the email. So I will go ahead and leave that as Yes. Next, we have Template File. So if you chose an output format of HTML and you have a template created, you can type in that file's full path here in this field. Otherwise, leave it blank. Okay, so let's get to creating our error message box should an error occur. So all errors have an associated message. And if you want to test to see if an error has occurred, then you would check to see if that error number is greater than 0. So we're going to check the error number, and we're also going to display a message box with a system-generated message. We'll also have the system beep at the users to let them know that there is an error. So from the Add New Action dropdown, either select or type in if. In the conditional expression field, we want to type in if the macro error number does not equal 0. That's how we test to see if there is an error. So in the conditional expression field, we'll type in, inside of square brackets, macro error, and notice that the system is picking up what I actually want to add in there. So I'll hit Tab on my keyboard, .number does not equal 0. So if it doesn't equal 0, it must have another number associated with it, which means there must be an error. Okay, so if there is an error, what do we want to have happen? we want to have a message box appear. So, from the Add New Action drop-down, either type in or select Message Box. And in the message field, you could either again type in your own custom text, or in this example, I'm going to have the system generate defaulted text for me, a default error message or error description. So the message here will equal MacroError.Description. And again, we'll have the system beep at us. Type is for the type of dialog or message box you want to have pop up. And you have a few different choices. You could have an information message box pop up. You can have a critical message box pop up. That's the one with the red X. You can have different warning message boxes pop up. But if you just want a standard box, no special icons to pop up, we'll go ahead and leave that as none. And the title here is the title of the message box. We'll go ahead and leave that blank as well. Leaving it blank, we'll have the title of Microsoft Access, or again, you could type in your own. Well, that's it. Let's go ahead and test this out to make sure that it works. I'll go ahead and hit Save on the ribbon and Close. That takes me back to Design View for the report. I'll switch to Report View and click on my Email Report button. And there we go. It's opened up my Outlook, and it's sending this message to the head honcho with the subject that I typed in and the report attached as a PDF.